Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Darrell Dukes Podcast. I am your host, Darrell Dukes. Kicking off this weekend on the DDP, Bill O'Rilley, he finally spoke out after he basically got kicked out of Fox News for all those wonderful sexual harassment allegations. Basically, and I'm going to paraphrase him, he says that it's sad what had happened. He has no regrets. And he's working on revamping his website to make sure that that he gives you the best content possible, and that this past week that his podcast, the No Spin News, was basically free and typical Bill O'Reilly stuff of that nature, and that he's going to miss us. Now, no, Fox News gave him $25 million as a exit clause to say thank you for all your services that you did with this wonderful network. Even though you have allegations towards you of sexual harassment, we're going to pay you $25 million as a servant. Now, my take on this is that, granted, I've watched Bill O'Reilly here and there, very good entertainer. I can't consider him a journalist because, let's face it, he's a commentator. He's very entertaining, and I can see why he was number one in the ratings for the last 16 years. Now, to give a little history of Bill O'Reilly, he worked for ABC, he worked for Inside Edition, came over to Fox, and his show was originally called The O'Reilly Report. And many people, Stephen Colbert has created a character somewhere based around how he acts, and he basically, for the years that he was on Comedy Central, again, sticking with Stephen Colbert, had basically mocked Bill O'Reilly, Fox News, and Fox News about how they act and stuff of that nature. So, glad that he made it back on his feet. Hopefully, all these wonderful allegations will probably not come to an end, knowing how Fox News is, and Bill O'Reilly will, let's just say, be Bill O'Reilly and make more money after killing something else. After he killed Abraham and killed Jesus. Now, note, those are the name of his last two books, and eventually got to movies on the National Geographic Channel. So, Bill is basically sitting on royalty checks right about that for days. Alright, so Caitlyn Jenner came out with a new book this past week. It was about her transitioning from a male to a female. And she said in an interview that it's not a political book, and she wanted to show loyalty to her people. Now, note, Caitlyn Jenner has been in the news not once but twice in the span of 4 days. Caitlyn sat down and gave an interview with Diane Sawyer for a special edition of 2020, which is ABC News' news magazine. And on Tucker Carlson tonight on his first show at the 8 o'clock hour. Now, I've seen bits and pieces of this. Catlin is, she's entitled to do whatever she wants to make her feel comfortable. And I understand the whole loyalty and voting for Trump, which she did. She indeed said that she did vote for Trump. But she doesn't like some of the stuff that he's doing, which, again, granted, because, again, it's harsh and it is Trump. So I totally understand where she is coming from for this. And knowing, again, she's a Jenner. And the Jenners and Kardashian, as soon as you make something, it's going to be gold like that. And I just wish her nothing but the best. In other news, we want to dip into the world of sports. The Miami Marlins has been sold for $1.3 billion. I'll explain. So, Jeb Bush, yes, former presidential candidate Jeb Bush, and Derek Jeter, yes, former Yankee Derek Jeter, had came together and decided, you know what? Let's buy the Miami Marlins. Now, note, according to Forbes, the team is worth $940 million. Like I just mentioned at the top of the story, the Jeter and Bush conglomerate bought the team for $1.3 billion. Note, this deal is pending Major League Baseball approval, and the former governor of Florida will be the controlling owner. Now, according to Forbes, the Jeter-Bush conglomerate currently has $250 million equity and looks to add on additional funding for the team. But it's basically a signed deal. And my take on it is this: as long as they can make the team great again, because again, in my lifetime, if I'm not mistaken, they only won like 2 World Series and that was it. So it'll be good to add a little, star power to the team to make sure that the team can be great again, pick up where they left off, and hopefully get to a World Series again in this lifetime, because 2 is not going to cut it. 2 is not going to cut it anymore. We need to win more. We need to get money back to the economy. We need to make sure that people get jobs. We need to make sure that the people are getting their money's worth, and people meaning season ticket holders, or else they will cancel their season tickets and they say, screw this, I am leaving. So that's that. Now, before we go, just want to let everybody know that we still have the GoFundMe going. We already have $20 in there, and we just need to make sure that journalism will not be a deaf mute, that we get the passion going, that we get the news back where it's supposed to be. Honest, fair, and balanced, and unafraid. This is the Darrell Dukes Podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and stay gold.